Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new, I am Mommy Lala, and I'm so happy because I am actually on time this time around. So, and welcome to day number 17. Oh, no, I think it's day number. Oh, yes, it is day number 17 of Stash-tember. I was thinking 18 of Stash-tember. So, for those who are asking, what is Stash-tember? Yes, that one you see under, okay, that says Stash-tember and Stash-tember 2025. That is what we've been doing since September the 1st. We are trying to smash our stash. But this time, focusing on because it's September, originally it is really inspired by Stamptember, right? So it actually started out as new stamps, right? So new stamps being released, and then it added on to other, crafting supplies as well, not just stamps anymore. And so over the years, a lot of us who have been crafting for quite a while have built up a little bit of a stash. Let's just put it at that, right? And in my case, I have really figured out that I really have a lot of things that I have not used just yet, and that includes stamps. So today, our topic or our inspiration, okay, again, this is the third week, and our inspiration is actually techniques first, right? So what are the different techniques that you can use together with your stamps that you have stashed away, never used once, whatever it is in your case? So for that, day number 17, it is Copic, or, okay, just to be more inclusive, alcohol ink markers day, right? So we are supposed to choose, okay, a unused stamp, okay, and then stamp that image and color it. Yesterday we did watercolor. This time around, we're gonna be using alcohol ink markers, right? And that somehow is not a problem for a lot of us, okay, because it's most of the time our go-to markers or way of coloring. So if you are new and you're wondering, why alcohol ink markers? Why not color pencils? Why not crayons? These are more readily available. We've been using it since preschool. And so why not those, all right? Because as we have learned, okay, from artists and crafters that we look up to as mentors, these markers are actually so awesome when it comes to blending, right? It's something that we might find difficulty, especially if you are a beginner, to achieve with other medium. Okay, so before I continue on, let's just check and say hi to the people in our awesome chat this morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Earlier on, even before we started our live stream, I saw Linda in the chat. Okay, she's probably right now walking her awesome fur baby, right? So VJ, okay, this is Vicky, my dear friends. Okay, Vicky, I'm actually... If you are central, yes, you're going to be 14 hours behind me. So it is actually now for you 8:06 a.m. Something, about that time, right? If you are Eastern, then you are absolutely 9:08 a.m. until, we change into, daylight saving time. For you guys, we don't have that though, because I actually live near the equator. So it's always sun, and rain every now and then, right? So, and of course, we can say hi to Linda and hearts to everybody. Yes. And early in the chat as well is our dear friend Caroline, and I'm sure she is preparing something awesome for the day, whether it be for her content or, for the family. All right. So, okay, you're 14 hours ahead. Absolutely. You got that right. And of course, our dear friend Susan, yesterday she really wasn't feeling at the best of, health. So I hope that, the rest and the sleep, hopefully today is a better day. And that is the same way for me, my friend. So whenever I wake up without any pain and I don't feel dizzy and I feel okay, and that is truly an amazing thing to already celebrate, right? So I think when we come of a certain age, right? So aches and pains and all these things, I think has, become part of, our daily existence, right? So I hope though that Susan is feeling so much better. She is one of our dear awesome moderators. But again, Susan, as I told you, you don't need to. Okay, if you're not feeling well, just rest, my friend, right? I can't get out of bed. Oh no. Okay. So she is just waking up. Probably she got notified. That's why I told you, friends, if you are following any of our dear friends in the chat, make sure that you actually hit that. Where is that? Oh, it's missing. The notify button. Okay. Oh, I'm happy to hear this. Yes, thank you for the prayers, my friend. Let's continue to also pray for you, my dear friend. Okay, that she absolutely, as the weekend comes near again, that she would absolutely feel better. And Linda is back in the chat saying hi to everyone. And we have Carol Bachelor. Good morning, Carol. I'm not sure, but I feel that this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. Thank you so much for saying hi and saying good morning. All right. So, Carol, do you have a channel? Are you a content creator as well on YouTube? Because I see that you have the YouTube, what do you call this? Logo on your name, so it means that this is your YouTube channel. So if do so, I will definitely check you out later. Again, thank you, Carol. It's 7 a.m. Oh, mountain time. Oh, I rarely have mountain time. Okay, so it's pretty early for Vicky. It's 7 a.m. 7:09. Yes, there you go. Mountain time. So mountain time is like in between Pacific, which is 14, and Central. Okay. The easiest for me to determine is Eastern because it's just absolutely just 12 hours apart. So if I'm 7 or if I'm 9 p.m., it's 9 a.m. on the other side. Except when you are actually doing your daylight saving time. Guys, I want to show you my shirt. This is super cute, right? So stop dreaming, start streaming, right? Ecam fam. Yes. So if you are someone who wants to start live streaming like what I am doing, truth be told, the way I've grown my channel is through live stream and shorts because editing is not really one of my strengths, and I find that it takes just too much time away from my day. And so the easiest is to live stream and to do shorts. So if you want something like that and you want to know how, okay, I'll be doing for members only, okay, how I actually started. So I'm doing a series for members only in October, right? So I'll give away all my secrets. There you go. How's that? All right. And we have, of course, my dear friend, Dinky. I miss you, joke. Truly, I already miss her. We were together the whole day. As you know, our kids were both homeschooling parents. And today we actually visit one of the most amazing and looked up to comic illustrator artist in the Philippines. Although he has passed away, his son has allowed us to be able to visit their ancestral home and to see his artworks. Don't worry, I will actually create a video and shorts on that trip to starting tomorrow. Okay, so we did spend a little bit of time together and then they headed home. Yes, my friend, it's daily. Hello, crafty friends. This is Yvette. I know Yvette is already preparing for Aquafit. And yes, as Dinky and I were talking earlier, that I should, my tummy, it looks like I'm 9 months pregnant. I'm really not. But I have what you call hernia. Okay. I did have a total hysterectomy about 11, 12 years ago. And somehow that surgery, the stitch, somehow has loosened a little bit. So that's called hernia. And so that what happens is that weakens, the wall of the tummy. And since there's a little bit of a tear, I cannot do, planking or anything, any activity that is too strenuous that, that hole might actually get bigger. And so we were talking about how can we actually still, stay fit, do exercise, and yet not be able to, worsen the situation I'm in. So we are actually at that point where we're trying to figure things out. Yeah, so Vicky's saying hi to Dinky and Yvette. Yes, Carol, welcome. And yes, I would like to like you to meet the people in the chat. I'm not sure if I've met Carol in other live streams, maybe in your live streams, my friend, or in Lynn's or LB. Sound familiar. And Yvette said, aches and pains just remind me that I am alive. See, that's a very positive way to look at it, right? Mindset, right? Getting out of bed is the moment brought to you. Do you know what Alaksan is? It's actually a brand of a specific anti-inflammatory, pain reliever here in the Philippines. I know it is also in the US. I just don't know. I think I'm not sure if Alaksan is ibuprofen, right? So it's 6. Yes. So Yvette is Pacific. So 3 hours behind. Okay, me. Okay, not 3 hours behind, but no 12, 13, 14, 15 hours behind. Yes, it's awesome shirt, right? Just take a look at it again. Stop dreaming, start streaming, right? So this is a shirt that I won, okay, being part of the Ecamm fam. Okay, Ecamm, ECAMM is the streaming platform that I actually am using. And that's what I use for everything. Live streaming, podcasts, recorded videos, everything that you see on my channel basically is Ecamm. Whether it be vertical, horizontal, that's the only thing I use. That's why it's easy, right? So again, in October, if you are interested in that one, just become a member of my YouTube channel and you'll get access to that members only class where I will share all of my secrets and it comes to content creation. Yes, thank you. Oh, Caroline, don't you have this just yet? I think you might have this, Caroline, because most of the time, every now and then they give this out to the Ecamm fam. Yes, Caroline is also on Ecamm, so we use the same platform. There you go. Great tip, Lala. I don't do many shorts. Yes, that's basically again what resonates with you. If you are good at editing, right? Like Yvette is, she could probably edit with her eyes closed, right? So if that's one of your strengths, then go for that. Actually, the easiest way, once you've reached the milestone or the metrics, that's 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers for full monetization, the videos are what you should be focusing on. But since, again, I don't do editing, I'm so I can't do fast editing, so it's gonna take up my whole time. So with that kind of time, I would have live streamed already at the same time, created 3 shorts in a day. So again, that's me. And of course, our dear moderator Susan is saying, don't forget to show love by hitting that. I found it. Like button. All right. So there you go. I don't have a lot of bells and whistles, but that works. All right. Hi, Wims. Good morning. Good morning. No, it's good evening for Wims because Whimsical Thoughts is actually a content creator, artist, and crafter based here in the Philippines as well. All right. And yes, Susan saying hi to Wims. You could do seated exercises. Yes. So actually, the safest exercise that I'm allowed to do is brisk walking. So every other day, my son and I would walk. Okay, but in the past couple of months, I actually have been very inconsistent. But previously, the first quarter of the year, I was so consistent. And it was so helpful. Somehow, my tummy, a little, maybe from 9 months, looks like 7 months pregnant. So something like that. But that's good, right? So anything that is, I used to love Zumba and all the dancing, but I also was asked not to do that. I have a lot of issues, my friend. I have a spine issue as well. I have a hernia on my previous surgery. I have issues with my veins on my legs. So name it, I probably might have it. But by God's amazing grace, yours truly is still here. Oh, I'm muted again? Oh, sound is going in and out. Maybe because I'm going like that. Audio is erratic. Hold on. Let me... Okay. Okay, I will be muted for a while. Hold on. Okay. Right, let me check. Okay, is this better? I just had to restart my Rodecaster Pro. Hey, how's now? Pop out and back into the stream. It fixed my audio. Oh, okay. I have something called diastasis recti, which is just when the abdominal wall doesn't fully close after childbirth. So something like that, Yvette, right? So a little bulge is a permanent reminder of my children, but mine is not really just a little bulge. I won't mind a little bulge, but this is way too much of a bulge. This is not like a hill. This is more like a mountain, like a mountain range. Right? So, Vicky, I thought it was just me. I rebooted. Okay, thank you, my friends. My body's reminder. The same, my friends. It's okay. It's me if it's just the bulge, the aesthetic of it. I'm okay with that. I'm at an age where I don't really mind about what my curves or the lack of the curves look like, but it's the health wise, right? So if it's something that might eventually be, a cause of some health concern. So Doc Dinky in the chat has actually reminded me that if we ever win the lotto, that she will sponsor my surgery because the doctor said I need to have it stitched again. That is the only way to make my tummy get better again and stronger, and so that I can do those, exercises. Otherwise, I cannot. Right. So, but I've been into so many surgeries in this lifetime that I feel, Lord, can I not have surgery anymore? Right. Hi, Wims from Vicky. All right. So, my dear friends, some of our dear friends in the chat are actually doing Stash-tember. Yes, of course, Yvette is saying and laughing alongside, okay, Caroline about the ice cream that she has eaten, right? So some of our dear friends actually are joining us in Stash-tember. Okay, it doesn't have to be regularly. If a prompt of the day somehow, inspires you, then absolutely don't forget to use hashtag Stash-tember or hashtag Stash-tember 2025. Some of our dear friends actually post, or most of them post on Instagram, some on Facebook, or both, and some on YouTube. So specifically, you have Vicky, you have Wims, you have Amy of Creativity Playground, who has done several episodes, or a complete one, trying to complete it as well. So no matter what it is, please do check out our dear friends' takes as well. Okay, so Carol said, ice cream is my issue, but I can't give it up completely. I also believe that we don't need to give it all up, right? So that's why, Doc Dinky is telling me, Lala, you need to, because I've been getting sick so often lately, right? So my cough is not really totally have left me and I'm not totally really well just yet. So she said, because you eat too much sugar. You have too much sugar in your diet. And so, of course, we were here this afternoon. I went out and then we went to the house because it's board game time for us, right? So, and then after dinner, she saw me pull out this lengua. Okay, no, it's what do you call that? Pastillas. No, it's pastillas de leche. It means it's like the small kind of candy with milk and then rolled into sugar. It's so delicious, my friend. It's called pastillas de leche. And I think Yvette would know about this one. And she said, uh-oh, you're eating sugar again. I said, no, just, one more. So I took 3 before she actually, was able to pull it out of my grasp. Right? So I think, a little bit of anything is not really very bad for us. But when we overdo things, that's when the problem arises. Like in my case, I just really love sweets so much. So no judgment, my friend, because I also, have an issue with sweets. Oh, it's a YouTube issue thing. Okay, so if you do hear me coming in and out, maybe just do what Susan said. Just, reboot or reload. Okay, hopefully that fixes it. Carol, it's my weakness. High five, Caroline. Same. So we have Carol and Caroline. All right. So Carol is Carol Bachelor. Okay. When I say Caroline, that is my crafty adventures. So please, if you are new to the channel, watching, lurking on replay, please do check out the chat as well, and check out our awesome friends in the chat. Okay, the sound seems fine for me now. Whew. All right, and Yvette said, oh my goodness, Lala, we are truly a mess. Oh, you have the same issue, Yvette. I have a vertebrae missing and a piece of my pelvic bone missing. I was born that way and didn't find out until I was in a car accident as an adult, right? But by God's amazing grace, so Yvette and I are still here. So, all right. Thank you so much for telling me, my friends, that I am actually no longer muted. Right? So, okay. Okay. God bless us just the way we are. Bumps and all. Absolutely, Vicky. And, our dear friend Vicky just recently had, surgery. And I'm so happy that she is recovering amazingly well. So let's continue to pray for her ultimate recovery. And I'm so glad that she actually built up a little bit of video on the side so you will not miss her content. Okay. And yes. Oh, wow, Yvette. Yes, right. So high five. I don't think I want other people to have that issue like Yvette and I has. But yeah, you get to learn to live with it, right? So, but then again, that's why there are really good days and there are not so good ones. But I love the way that Yvette looks at it. Always at a positive way. And this is my other moderator, my moderator daughter in the chat. Okay, everything in moderation. Exactly right, Susan. So I don't believe in absolutely taking it away, because if it makes you feel happy, right? Maybe just one. Okay, yes, Dinky friend. Okay, just one first for daily, and then probably every other day one until I finally I'm able to absolutely probably let go of it. Yes, sugar is so bad for. I know, Vicky. I know. But this hands and this mouth, so bad. They love sugar so much. Dulce de leche is delicious. There you go. Yvette would know, because we normally have the same kind of food, right? I'm a sweet tooth myself. Yes, Sam. Less sugar for you, mommy guide. Yes, but Sammy has a different kind of, addiction when it comes to food. Hers is coffee and soda. And then after a while, she'd complain of, I have tummy ache because of too much coffee and soda, right? Yes. So like mother, like daughter. That's not good, daughter. So I should stop, too much sugar, and you, on the other hand, too much coffee and cola. Yes, there you go. Caroline. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, moderator daughter. So, my moderator daughter is going to be putting down some of your links, my friend. So, if you see anybody in the chat, okay, and Sam is putting down that you have not yet probably checked out the channel, please do so. Most of the people in the chat, they do have channels. All right. So, if not on YouTube, they're on Instagram, definitely. Okay, yeah. So Yvette is checking up on Vicky. Yes, because Vicky just, I think, just about a week or 2 weeks ago, had a major surgery, and we're so happy that she is recovering pretty well. Yes, Carol, right? Carol, these wooden signs were made by a dear friend of mine, okay, Matt Haas, of Awesome Fun Things. But the sad thing, though, is he doesn't do it anymore. So we are so blessed, and I'm so blessed that I actually got to those before he actually discontinued working on them. Yes, yes. Please continue to do so until full recovery has transpired. Yes, yes, thank you. So please do continue to pray for our friends. Of course, Susan is a little better, but I'm sure still under the weather. But she's still just here for everybody. So yes, pray for our dear friends. Thank you, thank you. Yes, baby steps. All right, and so finally, let us start. Okay, so alcohol markers. Okay, so it's here in the Philippines, when you say refrigerator, okay, older people like me would say Frigidaire. Do you have a Frigidaire? Frigidaire is actually a brand, right? So most of the time we remember like brands, right? So instead of saying the common name for that one, like refrigerator, so whatever is the most famous during your time. So I'm absolutely, dating myself. That's what you remember growing up, right? So like alcohol markers. So I thought that the only alcohol markers were Copics, right? And they are actually spendy. So it took me a long while to build up my collection. Okay, so the one you see at the back that's highlighted, okay, I have them in acrylic, what do you call this, trays that I can pull out like so. So when I need to color, it's just, it's within reach and it's at the back. And since it's an acrylic ones, I can even light it up like so during my live streams, right? So I thought that they were the only ones. So it took me several years to build up the colors that I really just want. If I was very rich, I probably would have all the colors. But sad to say, I don't have. And that's fine because they're very expensive. So again, it took me years, okay? Because it's not something that, a priority, okay? And then I realized that there were other brands. So right now, I do have one from Altenew. So this is their artist marker. And they are actually alcohol-based, okay, markers as well. So, Mami Lala, can you mix this with your Copics? Absolutely, right? So they are all alcohol ink markers. Therefore, you can, as my experience, but I'm no expert, so if you want to try that out, okay, just a disclaimer, do it, yeah, if you want to, but based on my experience, it is fine, okay? So, another one, okay, that I have used recently are this, okay? So these are Ohuhu markers. And if you want to check this out, okay, how it is so easy to use. Actually, the reason I got this, I never really didn't want to buy this, although it was cheaper, because sometimes when you hear, oh, it's cheaper, it means that probably it's not as good, right? But, okay, the whimsical thoughts in the chat has a series or had a series on Ohuhu markers. That's why she has been, I think, featured not only twice on the Ohuhu official Ohuhu website here in the Philippines, because she has been doing amazing things with this Ohuhu. So I said, if Wims who is an artist, learned artist. She graduated her second degree. She's an engineer first and foremost, and her second career or degree is fine arts. And she, absolutely, says that this is fine, right? So absolutely, I will check it out, and I tried it, and it's like a fourth of the price of a Copic. So why not, right? So this one is another. And another one that I have, which I actually showed you during the countdown, is this one. These are called chameleon. Okay, so they're color tones. So I think maybe it was 5, 6, or 7 years ago, I would always, prior to that, okay, I would just always pass this in the bookstore, in the art store, because they're way expensive. Just like, Copic markers. And since I already started with Copic, I said, I'll just do Copics. But this thing actually is really nice because you can mix and match colors, right? So it does have a, what they call this, a tip like that and a tip like that. Okay, a brush tip. Okay, a fine tip. All right. And then it has another barrel where you can actually, mix. Okay, let's say you want to lighten this. So instead of having, let's say, for example, R23, 25, 27 for Copic, right? So you use 3 different, pens. Okay. So with this one, what you do is, if you remove the one that's in the middle, okay, this one on top actually contains alcohol. Okay, this barrel. So if you can see that clear thing, okay, that brush tip thing, when you touch that onto the tip, okay, of whatever the color of, this marker, so what happens is that it's gonna bring in alcohol coming from this side. And so depending on how long you have this together, right, so what's going to happen is that, okay, what is going to happen, so I've had that for quite a while, so I'll show you what is gonna happen. So when I pull it out, okay, so, and you see, it's very, very light. Okay, and after a while, you will see that it will become darker and darker and darker, right? But then again, the thing I really am, having difficulty with this is, how long can I keep it at that tone? How long do I have to, let's say you're coloring a specific image, right? So when will it appear like this dark, and when will it stay like that, right? So that is for me the difficult thing about this one. But I'm sure if I give this to Wims and she tries it out, she's gonna figure out how to use this better, right? So I did get, finally, when the store went on sale, I got this like box set, which was, I think, 50% off. Yes, but absolutely, I have not really used this as much as I would want to, right? So it does have beautiful colors as well. It's just that with one pen, with one marker, you can achieve so many color tones, so to speak, of the same color. So instead of buying, coordinating colors or like R23, R25, R27, you just buy one and then you just, put that alcohol tip on top to come out with gradients or gradations. So let's see if I will use this tonight. Let's see. All right. So these are just some of the alcohol markers that I have. I know that there are many more brands out there. It's just these are the 3 or 4 that I actually have and have used. Okay, so let us go to the chat first. Thank you, Carol. I love collecting stuff. That's another hobby. Okay, but a word of caution, having all the stuff, buying all the things, does not guarantee that you're going to be good at it. You really need to practice. That's what Wim's always telling me. Mami Lala, practice, practice, breathe. Yes, because when I color, in the beginning you would see I rarely breathe. And Wim's would always tell me, relax, breathe, breathe. Okay, there you go. Not only in the Philippines. Sorry about that, Wims. I think I missed that. Okay, so Wims was also featured in the Oahu, Peru. She has gone borders. Okay, she has gone to South America. All right, and has been featured there as well. So if you want inspiration, what she had in the beginning wasn't even the Oahu, brush tip. Just like me, I thought I was buying a brush tip. Eventually, we realized we were buying the fine tip. But she showed us that even if you had the fine tip and the broad tip, you can still create amazing coloring with Ohuhu. Don't trust my word for it. Check out her channel. She has a series, okay, about, Ohuhu. Okay, there you go. That's great, Williams. Yes, so proud of her, my friends. So if you are not yet subscribed to any of, the crafters you see in the chat, when you have time, right now, if you want to check them out, go ahead, right, and check them out. Yes, hello, Zell. This is another awesome Filipino creator. Okay, based in the Philippines. This is Zell, Z-E-L. Okay, but her channel name is Sprinkle with Cards, right? So on top of just, regular cards, she's an amazing mixed media artist as well, right? Wims. Okay, Sammy was asking, Mommy, who is the one who have who markers? Yes, it's Wims. All right, and Vicky says, my alcohol markers are Alexi. Oh, see, I haven't tried Alexi. I don't think we have Alexi in the Philippines. I got 3 Olo markers. I know that a lot of us have Olo markers. Like I know Lynn, and so many others. I think also Elizabeth. I think I've seen Elizabeth use it as well. At Paper Ganza, there you go. They're great. Yes, a lot of us really attest to, Olo being amazing. So, and it's beautiful that it is not only Copics. We can actually have, the amazing effect of an alcohol marker with the other brands that are now available and more affordable for us crafters. Sorry for being me, MIA, busy with new project at work. Absolutely, Wims and Zell, okay, Sprinkle with Cards and Whimsical Thoughts are actually BFF crafters here in the Philippines. And they do both have toddlers, right? So you know how it is when you have toddlers, right? So not a Dexy. Oh, sorry about that. See, I really don't know because we don't have it here. Vicky, maybe that's another content you can do in the future, right? So maybe you could showcase a Dexy. Right? So happy you could join us this evening. Yes, said Sammy. Hi, Zell. Thanks, Carol. All right. Oh, chameleons are so nice. The only ones I've ever had with the mix. The only ones I've ever had with the mixing chamber. I have a small set just getting started. I like them a lot so far. Carol, do you have videos on this? Right? So if you do, maybe in the future, come back and share with us that you have that and we will check it out. Because we need more inspiration with this chameleon thing. And VJ also has the Tombow markers that she really likes. Okay, so I'm not sure if Tombow has alcohol markers, but I do know that they have the beautiful water-based markers. Right? So absolutely, I have the full set of this one. As I told you, I'm a completionist if I can. Right? So again, but that doesn't mean that I'm good at coloring. So do what I say and not what I do. All right. So actually, Sam in the chat, my Sammy Pai, my moderator daughter, has been the one who inspired me actually into this coloring thing because she was the one who started coloring prior to me. Okay, so here, okay, this is one thing that we could take into consideration. Thank you for sharing, Caroline, that she uses Ohuhu, but for skin tones, she does prefer Copic. All right. So it's so nice to hear, the experiences of our crafters. And maybe from there, you decide. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Caroline. And Yvette says, I really like my Spectrum Noir Tri Blends. Okay. They're also a beautiful, product. I've seen them many times when I was building my Copic, but they're actually, I feel, more expensive than the Copic. Right? But again, sometimes, when a product is expensive, it normally is, because it's worth it, right? So if you can afford it, go for it, right? So, and I've seen Yvette use this many times over. Do you have a YouTube? If you can share the link in the chat. What's your favorite? No, Sammy, they cannot because they are not moderators. So you have to be the one to check it out. What's your favorite alcohol marker? Oh, yes. Thank you, Sammy, for remembering that I do have a question. So what alcohol marker brand do you actually use and why? Yes, a million years later, I remember that I actually have prepared that question. Thank you, Sam. Also, if you guys are enjoying so far, leave a like on this live stream and hit that notification bell. You know why, my friends, we keep on saying that? Especially at the beginning of the show. Because when we do that, when we hit that like button in the beginning, okay, not just make sure that you have watched a little bit anyway, not just immediately or before the start. That is a trigger to YouTube that, oh, people are liking this, right? So we could share it to more people. So that actually is a great help to the channel owner. There you go. And Caroline said, oh, who is a good value? Absolutely. Although there are some, I have seen that one of the reasons why they are a bit cheaper, okay, or not, let's say cheaper, it doesn't sound nice, affordable rather, is that it has less ink. Okay, lesser ink. But, not too much that it's like, it's gonna feel a little bit, awkward. Okay, but just especially if you're just a beginner, coloring artist, maybe you're not gonna be coloring like a whole canvas. You're just gonna be coloring tiny, tiny images of stamp images. Then our, markers, whatever brand it is gonna go a long, long ways. All right. So thank you so much, my dear friends, and keep those, suggestions, comments coming in. So before we actually start, I just want to show you, these are some books that it actually is in my Amazon shop. Okay, so it's amazon.com/shop/mommyguide and if you check out my idea list for books, you would see this. I find that, when I was starting, these books were really, really helpful. Okay, although this book is really for manga illustration, there is a part here that talks about how do you shade, right? So I love it. And how do you swatch? So it is so easy to understand, right? And it is illustrated as well. So, my very basic me loved how this book actually just describes specifically the coloring plan. Right? So that's one thing I really like about this book. Okay, the next one, of course, is just a regular color chart for Copic. I do not have all of this. I wish I have, but I do not. And actually, I am more of the sketch marker rather than the chow. Okay, so the only difference, it's all the same colors, lesser color I think for the chow, but the complete set is the sketch marker, is that this contain lesser ink. That's why it's cheaper, okay, than the sketch. But in terms of quality and content or something like that, it's actually the same, right? Of course, this is a great, I did buy this, okay? So, in one of those MIBF events, okay, so that you can track which one you already have, right? And of course, this series, okay, it's from Annie's Paper Crafts. This is the third series and my favorite because you know how coloring people is one of the most difficult for me, right? So it does give you, very basic and, suggestions if you are an utter beginner. This is how I started my Copic collection. Whatever they said, let's say for the face, for the hair, I bought those, right? And then just added, okay, whatever. Like for example, this one. So how do you put in the shadow, right? So as a beginner coloring, when you start coloring for, maybe our cards and other images, so it's like, how do you know where to put, the darker shadow and stuff like that? How do you make the gradations? That's something I cannot understand. People will say, oh, imagine where the light is coming from. And so where the light is coming from, okay, the first thing that touches it, it's going to be brighter. And the one that's like behind it's going to be darker. So it's like, oh, how do you actually see that? It's like, okay, I would get them. So it's something that somehow doesn't come to me easily, right? So I think I don't have that great imagination, I guess. That's why, right? So I'm more of a very, very practical person, right? So anyway, so it does tell you what they use and how you should do it, right? So for the faces, okay, so there's even like a direction how to do it. For if you want eyes, lashes, lips, right? So they do give you colors as well, right? So if you want coloring for size, okay, and skin tone, right? So I bought all of these, the E000, E0, E0. Now, if you want Caucasian, Asian, so they did give us a skin tone chart also at the end of the book so that you could put in your Copic markers that you feel you have wanted. See this one, creating ethnicities. So do you see it? I have checks for all of those that have the Asian, Middle Eastern, and Mediterranean because that's where I'm actually from. I'm from Asia, but I do have a lot of friends and family in that other side of the globe. So I do have Caucasian, Asian skin. So I love that they give us, more or less an idea of what we should get if ever, right? We want to do the same thing. And then how do you make a blush, right? So basic guidelines for shading. Okay, like hair. Right? So where do you put the hair? Okay, coloring the hair, hairstyle. So what if the hair is like this? Okay, so they have bows on their heads. Where do you put the shadow? Where do you put the darker, tones and stuff? Okay, so again, I love this. So also for the clothes. Okay, but it's not something that I do all the time. So every time I put out or start coloring with this alcohol markers, I will put this aside, I'll put it out, and so I can pick. Okay, how do you actually do this? How do you do that? And so I take a look at this one. All right, so this is the third of a series. So there's actually this is already level 3. Okay, so I don't have the other levels of the book. So if you want to check this out, again, they are on my idea list on my, Amazon. Okay, shop. Yes, so it's Mommy Guide Inc., right? So amazon.com/shop/Mommy Guide Inc. Right? So with no extra cost to you, if you go through there or check it out, okay, that would absolutely, yes, in its affiliate will give me a bit of a commission, okay, if you do so. But you don't need to if you don't want to. Oh, Hoo is a good value. Absolutely. All right. So, since this is Stash-tember and we are supposed to use a stamp that we have not used just yet. Again, I will show you the stamp because I think that's, now I'm pretty comfortable about just not knowing what I'm going to do and I don't really care if I create a good one or not. All right. The thing is, I need to smash a stamp set. Okay. But before we do that, I don't really remember who said it. Was it Susan or Vicky in the chat yesterday who said, okay, Mary Engelbert, right? So I do have several of her books, but this is a book I have of hers. Okay, that is, okay, so that you could see when we say Mary Engelbert, okay, so she has this very, vibrant colors and patterns, right? So these are some of her, especially her, like what do you call that, her lettering. It's, you would know that it's Mary Engelbert, really, from the colors and the style of, the designs, right? So this is very much that one. Okay, so a very Mary Engelbert inspired that one. So she has characters that look like that, right? So it's a very Mary Engelbert kind of look. All right, so just for those, okay, additional detail for those who might be wondering what is like a Mary Engelbert. All right, so what are the stamps? Okay. Oh, by the way, so for coloring with Copics, yesterday it was watercolor. And so in the kind of paper, of course, it's best to use a watercolor paper, right? So more the bigger or the more amount of cotton, okay, in the paper, the better, because it absorbs water more. And the best for actually using it for coloring is the cold processed one, but they're the most expensive one. And that watercolor papers actually have expiration dates, so don't hoard. All right, how about for Copics? Okay, so we do have Nina, right? So when you guys buy Nina, you buy them in like rims, right? But here, this is not something that is readily available. So I normally buy from one of my favorite, craft stores, local craft stores. That's Lasting Impression. So I buy them by 10 pieces, like so. So the thing with this one is that this is the Nina Solar White 270-pound paper. So it's a little bit on the heavy side. So it's okay. And it's very, not really very, but it is smooth, right? Smooth enough so that when you color, okay, so it is going to blend really well. Another one that I have is this one, okay? This is a Strathmore Bristol smooth paper, okay? So there you go. It's acid-free, it's heavyweight, it's for finished artwork, pen, and ink, right? So this is a little bit more spendy, but the paper is really very, very smooth and thick. And normally, you want that kind of paper for your alcohol ink markers or coloring, okay? But again, there are many crafters and artists who use other different kinds of paper, and they're good, right? But first and foremost, try to not make use of paper that has texture, because that would easily, lessen the good lifestyle or lifespan of the brushes or the tips of your alcohol ink markers. All right, and we have another one who is doing Stash-tember. Okay, our dear friend of ours, Anna, who is actually based in the United Arab Emirates. Okay, this is Anna, my cat and crafts. Yes, she absolutely loves, her fur babies, specifically cats, right? She is also on the design team of several international based stores and manufacturers. So please do check out her Instagram and other socials, right? So thank you so much, Anna. Good afternoon, I think, for you, or already good evening, right? So they're, I think, 8 or 9 hours behind. So probably, around noon. Not sure, maybe, right? So I didn't know watercolor paper expired. I actually didn't know as well until I actually went to an art store here in the Philippines, and I said, why is it the same brand, this and this, but this is like half the price? Oh, because this mom is already expired. Huh? Like watercolor paper expire? Yes, the really good ones that are used by artists to make canvases and stuff of their watercolor artworks, they do have expiration dates. But for our purpose, where we color in just small stuff for our cards, then I said, oh, that's absolutely fine. I'll go buy that, right? So I did. And so my expired watercolor papers, I bought them expired and they're still here. So it's really, really expired, but still okay. All right, because I'm not going to be creating a big canvas of a watercolor artwork. Linda is back saying hi to everyone. I don't know. Okay, there you go. And Linda saying hi to everybody, and so is Sammy. Yes, 5 p.m. Yes, there you go. 5 p.m. in the UAE. So please do check out dear Anna of My Cat and Crafts. All right. And she is, I think, one of the admins of also another awesome group, okay, which is Craft, Create, and Swap Club, or CCSC. So if you're interested to join and know what that club is, okay, just head on to Facebook. Okay, it's a free, you could join for free. Okay, they do swaps, right? So if you are okay with the shipping and stuff like that, and you want to do some swaps, I'm not sure if they're open for international right now, but you could message them, and I'm sure probably Anna or Marie would be the one to message you back. So again, thank you, Anna, for dropping by. All right, so but before we actually start the coloring, let's help Mommy Lala choose. What am I gonna do today? It's already 10 o'clock. It's an hour already from when I started, and I have not even done anything. But I hope that it has fun, going through each and everybody's concerns and highs and hellos. All right, so I have here stamps that I have not used. Okay, this one's from Artful Angel. Okay, so I have not used them, not because they're not cool or they're not beautiful. It's just that I really just have so much. All right, so this is from Artful Angel. It's called Gardening. Okay, so this is our first choice. Okay, option. So the next one, another from Artful Angel. This one is Roll With It and Born to Plow. Plow. Plow? All right, and then the third one is this one. Okay, it's so cute. I love you so much. Okay, I think it's a sloth, right? And then, so that's 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth one. How does your garden grow? Okay, this one's Growing Garden from Artful Angel again. Okay, another from Artful Angel is this one. Okay, never change your stripes. So you have a raccoon, you have a zebra, okay, and you have a cow. All right. And then we have another one. The last, not the least, okay, from Artful Angel is this gnomes. They're garden gnomes. Home is where your gnome is. All right. Okay. And the next one, this very simple flower. It's very small. Okay. From Technique Tuesday. Yeah, so for this, so what is Technique Tuesday? Okay, that used to be one of my very favorite brands, specifically because of Ali Edwards, right? She has a lot of collections on Technique Tuesday, and I love this one, but I've never actually used it. All right. Oh, I thought I can't because I already used this one. Okay, that was what I did for Artful Angel last year for KCC. Right, so not that one. This one is from Bloomer Are Planted is from Mary Engelbert, right? But this one is actually from Garden of Life. All right, so what does this look like? All right, so this one looks like that. Okay. All right, so it does look like this one. Okay, so if you have like a stamp inspiration for that one. Okay, and then this one, okay, one of the very first products of Lynn of LV Handcrafted. This one is in cooperation with Cat Scrappiness. By the way, my dear friends, please do check out one of our dear friends, okay, one of my partner stores in my show, Apapel at Iba Pa, Jo, has been announced as one of the newest, design team members for Cat Scrappiness. All right, so please, I look forward to her works in the coming weeks, and I hope that you would support her as well. So again, this is Pour Yourself a Latte, and this was gifted to me by Shanna, because when I wanted to buy this, they said it's out of stock. It's like, oh, I want one. Can somebody sell to me? You know what Shanna did? She sent it to me. Right? So awesome. Thank you, Shanna. But I have not been able to actually do so because she sent it to me almost like the last quarter. of last year and was so busy with so many, advent calendars and, new products. Somehow, I have not even used it just yet, right? Next one is this one from Mama Elephant. Okay, gosh, I have so many options for you guys. Are you remembering what I'm showing you? Right? This is actually the hot cocoa, okay, for Christmas. Right? Why have I not used this? I love making Christmas stuff. Anyways, all right. And yes, I actually pulled it out the other day. You didn't choose this one, so I'm pulling it out again. Okay. Of course, this was also pulled out the other day. Okay. The chemistry one wasn't chosen as well. And these two as well weren't chosen. So I'm pulling them out again. So I said, right, so if maybe they weren't chosen for that day, they might be chosen another day. All right, so friends, which of these would you want me to work with tonight and color it and turn into a card? Again, as I said, your wish is my command. All right, let me see. Okay, Susan said, tractor set and cow. Okay, tractor set and cow. Oh, you want me to use two? Why not? Okay, so this one. So from Art Angel. Okay, so this too. Okay, is Susan's vote. I missed getting the Lynn coffee. Oh, you too. Oh gosh, right? So it was like, and it just so happened that Shanna was in the chat and I didn't know. She said, watch your mail. Watch out for a happy mail. I said, I didn't. And on top of that, she also sent me a one of my favorites, all right, is Pooh Bear. So she sent me a classic Pooh Bear stamp. Of course, that one I already used. Yes, Miss Jo, congratulations. The large rose. Oh, Technique Tuesday? This one? Yes, I think this is the only rose I have. Yes, I think this is the only one, right? Yes. Okay, any other votes, my friends? Just two? Okay, let me check. Okay, sometimes my the one in my computer is late, but I'm checking the one on my iPad. It's still the same. All right. So probably let's all use all three. Normally I do threes anyway. All right. So bye-bye to this unused stamp. So you might see them in the choices again tomorrow. What is tomorrow, by the way? Tomorrow's prompt is, let me check. Tomorrow is day 18. It's tone on tone. So we are going to try a subtle look with a new stamp. Plus we ink in the same color family. Yay! This is actually my favorite. I always say the safest way to color anything is within the same color family. Right? So you can never go wrong with like very, very near each other or within the same color family. Right? So that is going to be our episode tomorrow. And who knows, maybe you would see these stamps come up again as a choice or an option. Okay. So, based on the chat, thank you, Susan. All right. And of course, who picked the other one? And Vicky. Yes. Okay, that chose this ones. Hi, Laurie. And of course, Laurie also, good morning. Hope you're feeling well, my friend. Also is going with, Susan's. So this is Susan's vote. Okay. And this is Vicky's. Oh, definitely coffee tomorrow. All right, so I don't think I can do 4. So tomorrow is gonna be coffee. All right, Caroline. All right, so guys, I know it's quite late already for you. Maybe some of you need to go to work, or some need to do errands. So thank you so much for staying. You can always watch on replay, but if you're able to stay, I'm super duper grateful. Time is really, I know it's cheesy, but it's something that we really cannot buy back, right? So for you guys to spend, your precious awesome time with us or with me, for my Stash-tember, I'm really super, super grateful. I hope that the time you spend with us is really worth it. Right? So again, Susan says, good morning. How are the wedding crafts coming along? I'm so excited as well. All right. So let's do it. Let's start stamping. Okay, so let's do this one first. Okay. So again, these are pristine stamps. Okay. Oh, this is very old. I hope, is it already starting to powder? You know how it is? Sometimes polymer stamps can do that when it's really, really old. Okay, I hope, and it becomes, oh, okay, good. I thought it was going to be very sticky. Be very careful, especially with very old stamps, because sometimes, especially if you are in a very humid country like I am, so it sticks too much that it's so hard to pull them apart. And normally I've experienced that those happen with my 12 by 12 stamps, right? So, but with the smaller stamps, not too much, okay? So let me just grab some of my, okay, hold on, my papers. So I do want to use, okay, my Strathmore, okay, super smooth. Okay, so I'd like to thank Susan. Okay, Susan Coquin. Okay, one of my dear crafty friends who have joined me earlier on in my journey as a content creator when we were still, all locked up. But she is now in Canada, so she is not able to join us as often as she can because the time is really off for her. But she gave me some of these to play with, right? So let's just, stamp a little bit of these. Okay, so just enough for our card bases. All right, so let's just do some of these until, we don't really need a lot. Okay. Yeah, I think I should have cut it this way rather than the other way. .5. Okay, so I'm cutting them into top card panels for an A2 size card. Okay. My AC is still broken, my friends, and so I am melting like crazy. Okay. Hopefully over the weekend, the repair service or the repairman will be able to come in visit. All right, so now that we have what we want, so since we are doing Copic coloring, so I'm not gonna be heat embossing. Okay, so we're just going to be doing regular stamping. All right, so when you use a new stamp, for those who are new, okay, so normally polymer stamps, they do have like a special coating of plastic, as that is how it's actually manufactured. So it is best that you make sure that you rub your fingers onto it, or sometimes you use a wet wipes, or sometimes you could sand it even with a very fine sandpaper to make sure that covering, a protective covering as part of the manufacturing of the stamp is gone. Because if you do not, it doesn't ink very crisply or doesn't have crisp images. So what I'm using, this is called a stamp platform. So for those who are new, okay, this is just one of the many kinds. Nowadays, there are so many, but I know that the very first one I had were from Misty, okay, my sweet petunia. And Misty stands for My Incredible Stamping Tool Invented. The most incredible stamping tool invented. All right, and I have to agree with it because I am not very fond of stamping before. So the stamps, they were introduced big time during the glory days of scrapbooking. So the mid 90s, late 2000s. But then it was so hard to create crisp stamps, again, because it depends on the paper, the pressure, the stamp. And so what happens if you didn't stamp it the first time. There were stamp positioners, but they are not as easy to use as this one. All right, so in terms of the ink, okay, so you would want to use, since you are using alcohol. Remember we said yesterday for watercolor paper, for watercoloring, you should use an ink if you are going to stamp an image, okay, that is not water based, right? Because yes, because otherwise it would bleed or it will move. But okay, together with when you watercolor. So for that, yesterday we used, I think, what did we use? An MFT stamp, like a hybrid stamp. For today, we're gonna be using Memento. So Memento is actually and I'm gonna be using the tuxedo black one. Okay, so they are the best for Copic coloring. All right. So again, they are not they are not alcohol based. Okay, so therefore, since they are not alcohol based, when you use it for coloring, it is not going to move or it's not going to bleed. Okay, so we're doing the outline of this. Okay, I didn't realize that these are roses. Okay, all right, so there you go. Very, very fine detail. Okay, I hope I can find my... Okay, hold on. Where is my... Okay, I am still losing or missing it. Okay, I did, I do have I have very weak, what do you call this? Very weak hands, from years of crafting and stuff. So I normally use a, what do you call that? A marker, okay? A whiteboard marker eraser, okay? So that I can push onto this. Okay, I just can't remember where I place it. So you see, I'll show you. So, you see that part? It's not perfect. That part isn't perfect. These are okay, but those are not. So prior to the advent of, a stamping platform like this one, okay, so you just need use a stamp positioner. It is going to be very hard to come back to that and fix, okay, that thing that you saw where you need to go back because some of the images didn't stamp in properly. But with this platform, it makes going back, okay, stamping back again, okay, easier. Okay, so maybe my ink pads, the smaller, okay, dew type, okay, because they look like teardrops or water dewdrops, right? So these are called the dewdrop, okay, Memento. So you could ink the stamp again and then make sure that this is aligned towards that and then just go back down. Okay, and then just try to, okay, put pressure onto that. Okay, now if you have, strong hands, strong grip, then this would be easy for you. Okay, I still see everything is okay except for that part. So I would want to go back one more time on this part. Oh no, on this part. Okay, so on this part, this part is where we need to go back again. Okay, so I didn't ink anymore the other parts, but only this part where I saw that I needed a little bit more because it didn't really, okay, stamp in perfectly. So that's done. All right, so we have one of our stamps, okay, that we're gonna be coloring with alcohol marker in a... Okay, so we move on to our next stamp set. Okay, so normally clean as you go would be a great practice, okay, when you are stamping. For one, it hopefully prevents your stamps from having, what do you call this? Stains, because you easily cleaned it immediately after. So you can put it back onto it it's accompanying, you know, there you go. Okay, probably it's this one. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there you go. Okay, and then the thanks go over here. Okay, and then the cover or the protective backing over there. And we'll just put it back onto its original packaging. Okay, so somehow this one is still, most of the time I do transfer this to, you know, my own different, you know, depending on what size it is, onto my stamp, you know, pockets or holders. Okay, the next one. Okay, so for this one, I think it was the cow, okay, that Susan chose. So we're gonna be doing the cow, but you know what, maybe let's do all of them. Okay, so let's first put in a card. Okay, this is a Strathmore. Okay, so definitely fussy cutting will be happening. Okay, so for this card, okay, and then let's have the raccoon. Have I ever seen a raccoon in real life? Not sure. If the last time I was there, while I was resting, you know, I was in Washington DC, and I was resting from walking, and I was on one of those benches, and then something that came up from the tree going down and then went onto the lawn. I don't know what it was. If it was, that was a raccoon or something else. What do you think, friends? What did I actually see? Okay, how's it going? Okay, you know what? I think I have to do the sentiments. Okay, except for maybe that one. Okay, in a different one because it doesn't fit. Okay, it won't fit anymore. Okay, let me see if I can move it a little bit, and I can squeeze in all of these sentiments. Normally when I do this, I don't really get crisp impressions, but let's see if, you know, I'm trying to lessen. Oh, but then when the sentiments, I have no, because it's gonna be hard to use the sentiments, right? So let's just do that. Okay, let's separate my sentiments. Okay, all right. Okay, so I've picked it up. Okay, I'll now start to ink it. I don't think I primed my stamps. I forgot. But hopefully, yeah, I'll already see, I already see, you know, like, what do you call that? Not bubbles, but I see that it is not sticking as properly or as I want to onto the stamp, because I didn't actually prime this one. I didn't rub off any of, hopefully, whatever is still there. Okay, so that I see that I have accidentally, you know, stamped or put ink onto my platform, and so we will lift that. Oh, I moved it. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Hopefully it's still good. All right, so we will see. And then if this doesn't go well, we do have to, okay, yeah, it is not so good. So let's go back. I forgot to prime it. So normally you would just rub it first. Okay, so that whatever, okay, maybe plastic sheet or something that would prevent it from being inked really well, okay, would not happen. Okay, and then I would dry it a little bit. Okay, and then start stamping again. See, now I see that the ink actually stays, doesn't make like pud, you know, I don't know what you call it. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what you call it. Oh, Oh, is my audio coming in and out again, Sammy? Refresh. It's been happening, and I think that's what people said to do. They've experienced it as well earlier on when I started, and they said that the best, that the thing that they did was to refresh, and it went okay again. So I'm not sure though if that is because of my set. I have to check my mic setup again. I have not checked this for quite a while. So, all right. So there you go. I see some parts. Oh, you see that hair? Did I double stamp that? Or was her hair really like that? Okay. Okay, let me go back to the hooves of my cow. Still really not. So let's go back again. Third time's the charm. Something like that. All right. Thank you again so much, everybody, for being here. We are doing Stash-tember day number 17. And this is all about alcohol marker coloring. Oh, maybe I should even ask you, what do you want me to use for coloring tonight? Okay, so when we get to the coloring part, I'll ask you. Okay, again. Oh, I think I moved it. Let's see if that would show. I think I moved it. And it showed. You see? It moved. Okay, so I have to redo this. Sorry, friends. That's why I did need to stamp or to cut a little bit more. Sorry. You see what happened? See, I was doing like this and I really didn't like aligned it too much. So what I did was, and it was already there. So I fixed it, but I already touched the paper. So, okay. So careful with that one because that can lead to having like a ghost. You see that part of the cow. Like you have two lines. Come on. And you have like kind of dark borders on some of the parts of the image. So it means that I really didn't align too much. Okay. So, okay, make sure that that part is aligned. Okay, and then, all right. Okay. All right. And then I just, okay. Okay, there you go. But it's not perfectly clear just yet. So let us go back. Okay. Ink this again. It's so hot, my friends. It is really, really hot. I'm not sure what temperature it is right now. But with the humidity to boot, it is hot. It is 10:24 p.m. But it's so hot. And of course, probably a bit of hot flushes come into play. All right, so there you go. Okay. Okay, and hopefully this is done and we can proceed to the coloring. All right, great job. Right, so now we have our, okay, what do you call this set? This is our Never Change Your Stripes, okay, collection from Artful Angel. Okay, so if you have, not checked them out just yet, they also do beautiful stamps. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so let us bring them back to there. Okay, this one goes over there. This is the zebra. And this is the raccoon. All right. And then the sentiments. Oh, remember that part? Okay. So we do have some, like the smaller ones. Okay. So let's go back to the smaller ones. Okay. And then do the sentiments. Okay. There you go. Just giving enough space so that, okay, when I cut them, I can cut them into strips. Okay, so we will ink them again. So normally at this point, you can, heat emboss this one. And normally that's what I do with my sentiments. But since today we are actually pressed for time, okay, so we will not be doing any more, okay, heat embossing, but rather, okay, just regular stamping for our, okay, sentiments. And I'm doing it on a white cardstock. Okay, never change your stripes. How's it going? And I can't read the other one because it's covering it right now. But let me see. So, okay. All right. So there you go. Just one more. Okay, so that is our sentiment for this set of stamps. See you soon, Raccoon. How's it going? Never change your stripes. And now it's just time to clean up our stamp. So clean as you go is what we're doing. Okay, and that is a good practice, so that especially if you want to keep your stamps, as stain-free as you can, normally clean as you go is a great way to do that. But there are just really some inks that no matter what kind of, stamp cleaner you use, or no matter how fast you try to use it, they will just really stain because, polymer stamps really can stain. But cleaning as you go is a great practice. All right. So let's put that back in. So if we need to. Okay, what is our last one? Okay, so this, oh, the tractor. Okay. So we have the tractors. Okay, go. Sorry, friends, I'll just get water. Yes. Okay, water is good, my friends. I just needed to rehydrate. Okay, so get those, and then this too will be for sentiments later on. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was like a a cough attack. All right, so how am I gonna stamp this? Okay, probably like that and like this. All right, so we're gonna pick it up. Okay, and then we are going to prime it. Okay, by just rubbing it a little bit. Okay. Just making sure that, okay, and I actually am even, what do you call that? Okay, am I muted? Am I okay? Okay. All right, so this is the tractor. Okay, so we will try to combine the tractor with some of our, stripe friends over onto the last thing that we stamp. This seems to be a little bit dry. I might get, that's just like my throat is a little bit dry. Okay, let me see. Oh, by the way, congratulations to my niece. My niece Alfie is graduating from university tomorrow. Woot woot! Congratulations, Alfie. We are all so proud of you. So, yes, she and my daughter are almost the same age. Okay. All right. So, this is the tractor. What is it called? Born to plow? 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 Yes. Okay, hold on. The cow is adorable. Okay, yeah. So, guys, if you do have audio issues, okay, kindly, reboot or refresh, as our friends in the chat have experienced earlier on. That somehow does the trick. Okay. After talking for a while, my throat gets dry too. Yes, and mine is really part of GERD. I just ate dinner before we went live, but about 30 minutes prior to. You know how acid reflux, sometimes it makes your throat itchy. So I do have, I told you, I think I have whatever other people, I don't know if it's being hypochondriac or what. It's like I seem to have, everything. Okay, but Lord, not the big C, please. Not that. Okay. Okay, there you go. How awesome is that? Okay, just one more. Okay, just to make sure. Okay, that I have everything. Okay, really stamped and inked with. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm not done, by the way. I forgot that I still have the, what do you call this? The the sentiments for this one. Awesome. All right. So again, let's clean. Okay. Cleaning as you go. Clean as you go. Okay, let me see. My first introduction to clean as you go was, I think it was in high school when, yes, I did work for McDonald's. And that is one of the things that they told us, that you always need to, and you could see all the signs inside the store where, sometimes you don't see it if you are a customer, but inside it's KAYG, clean as you go. Okay, and that has actually helped. Okay, me in a sense. All right. All right, there you go. Okay. So now just finishing up. Oh, I forgot to prime this again. Anyways, let's see. Okay. Okay. Born to plow, roll with it. Oh, nice. In fairness. Okay. So the thing, friends, I don't really know what I'm going to be doing every day for Stash-tember, because what I do is I bring out some of the stuff that I have in my stash that I've never used, and you guys decide which one I am going to work with. And since I want to show you that they're really brand new, I cannot do a practice run or prepare for it, which is normally what I love to do, especially during the live, so that it is not too long, right? But for this one, since I wanted to show that these are unused ones, I really have to sacrifice the part where I can prepare, or I do prepare in advance. And I'm so grateful that Most of you actually stay the whole time, but you don't need to. I know that time is very precious for everybody. And you being here is really an amazing. Just coming in, saying hi. I'm really very grateful. All right, friends. So, I finally found the bottom for this one. Okay. All right. Okay. Now it's time to color. Now, my friends, what do you want me to use? Okay, maybe we can use different colors. Okay, so which one do you want me to use for Copic? Which one would be for... So this is this one, and this one. Okay, so first, Copic. So which one do you want me to use Copic with? Copics. All right, so even the coloring medium we're going to be using tonight, you choose. Okay, so Copics, which one, my friends? Yes, if you are new here to the channel, yes, please do hit that like button, right? And if you like what you're seeing thus far, please do consider subscribing as well. So what do you think, my friends? Okay, so Carol said, congratulations. Yes, thank you, my dear niece. Is, I think, even graduating with honors. So a hats off to her. Yeah, so she's like more of a sister than a cousin. So true. Oh, thank you, Vicky. So it's like a cow. So plow. Thank you. So it's not plow, cow. Thank you, Vicky. Whew, I've been struggling with it, right? So, and Anna said, I have a GERD too, where GERDs... Can we just be crafty sisters, Anna? Let's take away the GERD. The GERD is a pain. You know how I sleep, my friends? My pillow, I have this cheese-like pillow shaped like a cheese, like that. And that is how I sleep because of my GERD. Because if I sleep flat like that, I will wake up in the middle of the night in pain. Right? So I've learned to live with my cheese pillow. So if we have to go staycation or go somewhere, it's kind of hard because I miss my cheese pillow. And Susan said, that makes a better rhyme than the big explanation of bow. I was going to type Vicky. Because maybe I'm going to say bow. See? Another issue. Oh no, my husband has acid reflux. Yes. So that's what we normally say, acid reflux, but it's the full name for that is the gastroesophageal reflux disorder, or GERD, or GERD, right? And it is no fun, my friends. So the remedy for this, normally eat slow, which I am not one of those. I eat super fast. Another thing is eat small portions, but more frequent. And most of the time, especially when I'm working, I let the time pass and lunch, it's already 3 p.m. and I haven't eaten lunch. Or maybe I would eat lunch and breakfast and dinner in one meal, and then I would have those attacks. So eat, small portions, but more frequently. And then also avoid like spicy food, which I love as well so much. So all the do not do, I love doing. Right, so Copics on tractor. Okay, thank you, Susan. Okay, Susan keeps me, in line, right? So when I am like stumped, what am I going to do? She tells me and immediately, yes, agree. All right, so this will be Copics. Okay, so Copics, so this is what we're going to do first. All right, how about this too? Which one will be Ohuhu and which one will be Chameleon? So we can use all of whatever alcohol marker I have. So we are now voting for Ohuhu. Okay, so which one will be Ohuhu? Okay. Exactly, those pesky English words that are spelled the same but pronounced differently. It's the same thing for us. There are also Tagalog or Filipino words the same issue. All right, friends. Okay, Ohuhu this time. Ohuhu versus Chameleon. So, which one? Okay. So now it's Ohuhu versus Chameleon. which one, my friends? Okay, tell me in the chat. Okay, so which one do you like? Okay, so let me see. Is somebody? Okay. See, I make you do all the decisions, and I just execute. And I think that lessens the stress for me because I just follow your prompts, right? So which one, my friend? So again, if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to like and yes, subscribe. So for the whole of September, okay, I'll be going live for Stash-tember. Not because, for anything else, but it's easier to put out content rather than editing. All right, so let's go back to the chat and see. Kopik on the cow, Ohuhu on the other animals, and chameleon on the flowers. Okay, so Ohuhu, which one, Caroline? All right, so I think for today, we will follow our dear moderator's prompts. All right, so Susan said, okay, Kopik's on this. All right, so let's start with Kopix, all right, and end with chameleon. Okay, so let me just put it there. So let's pull out all the Kopix first. Okay, so first we decide. Okay, so these are bales of hay, I am assuming, right? So let's pull out the balls and the grays. So I guess that's what we need. Okay, I have a question. When you put like bales of hay, are hay dry or I think so. I think from what I see in the movies, if I can remember right, they're already dry. So there's a little bit on the tan or what? Yellow? Not really yellow, but brown, right? Am I correct? Okay, so I would wait for you guys. So this is how I store my Kopix, friends. So they are in this acrylic trays, okay, that actually goes at the back of, my table. So I arrange them by color, by color family. So oranges, neutrals, grays, like that. Okay, onto this one. I normally, if I had them really arranged even by color, right, by numbers. But today, I've been coloring for quite a while, so not like that. Okay, hay should be dry. Okay, so hay should be dry. Okay, thank you. Thank you, my friends. All right, same with Susan. Uhuhu for the flower. Oh, the flower? Did you say uhuhu for the flower? I thought chameleon was the flower. Let me go back on that one. Ah, so uhuhu was the flower. Okay. So uhuhu was the flower and chameleon would be for the animals. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, my friends. So let me check. Okay, what do I want for the hay? So we can do R24. Let's do E25. Okay, where are the others? Okay, so this is this is YR24. Okay, so this is E25. We can do E23. E19. Okay, so that could be for that one. For the tractor, that would be a little bit on the gray, I guess. Okay, so we could probably do C3 and where's C5? I do have a C5. C3, C7. C7 is too dark. Maybe this is CW5. There you go. You have W3 and W5. Okay, and then for the bale, what else do I use? Maybe E15. All right, let's check that out first. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, So we have E15, E23, E25. And then for the gray, it's W3, W5. All right. And though, so for the, I think that's a tractor. So we need for the hay. So E35. And what else do we have? Okay, and let's do E31. All right. Let's see. Okay. So this is E31. We're going to do E31 and E35. Okay, on to our hay. Okay. So normally, I don't know about you guys, but I start out with the lightest color. Okay, I would color them in first with the lightest color. You know what? Normally, since this is, I stamped it, I would, just to make sure, I would heat it just in case it was too wet. I just don't want to make it, even though it's supposed to not bleed, but if it's still wet, it can. So just to make sure, okay, I'm just running it through. Okay, running it through. Okay, a heat tool like this. Okay, just to make sure. Just to make sure that when I do the coloring, that it's really not gonna bleed. All right. Okay, and then the last would be our flowers. All right. Okay, so we're done with that. So I just need to remember cow, plow. Okay, so E31. We're going back to E31. All right. So as I was saying, I start out with, okay, the light color ones. Okay, and then move on to, okay, the darker shade. All right. You know, when you see Wim's coloring using Copics or Uhuhu, you will see from her stroke that she is so relaxed. And when you watch me, you see that there is stress in my strokes. Excuse me. Because yes, there's a little bit of a stress, right? So as you know, and then I go back to it, okay, with a darker shade, okay, that normally is at the bottom. It's just that I feel the bottom parts of objects, okay, depending again on they say where the light source is, but I feel that normally those are the parts where, and then I go back again with E31, okay, and then try to mix that part so that the transition ain't so harsh, so to speak, right? So there goes my bale of hay, and I will do the same thing again, okay, onto the rest of it. Okay, some do like cross hatching and stuff. So me, it's just normally I just do like a flick motion, something like that. Like this. I don't know what do normally like farmers use to tie the hay together. Okay, so I'm not sure. So I don't know what color I need to color that band with that puts the hay together. All right, so let's put a little bit. Okay, and then I go back again with the lighter color just to make the blending a little bit nicer. Okay, and then let's make probably this band a little darker. So say an E25. All right, so like that, E25. Sorry. Okay, and then let's go back in with E35. Okay, so there you go. That's our bale of hay. I think that's what it's called. All right, so now let's go to our tractor. All right, so for our tractor, we're going to do W3. I have a W3, W5. I have a W7 just in case. Okay. So let's do the body. Oh gosh, my W3. See, is all dried up. Look at that. Look at that tip. All right. See, another marker saying bye-bye. So let's do 5, 7, and 9. So we do have C7 and 9. I do have W9, but W9 is way too dark. So W5, 7, and 9, and C7, 9, and where's my C5? I can't seem to find my C5. You know what? Maybe my C5 has dried up again because I know I have the complete C series. Okay, so let's just do C3. I hope it's not dry just yet. Okay, so far, okay. So far, so good. Okay. I know, as I said, I normally start with the lighter shades. Okay, how about you, my friends? Maybe some coloring tips. Okay, for me and for those who are new to Copic or alcohol coloring. Okay, what tips can you give us? Okay, because you know, despite I've attended many classes, so my level of where I am right now in terms of Copic coloring should no way be a reflection of how those classes were taught, because I had amazing teachers. They were all awesome. It's just really me, right? So the lack of practice, okay, is the bane of my coloring journey. Okay, unless I am pushed, okay, to really intentionally do it, I normally would not be able to do it. I would choose always the easier way to do things. So that's C3. Let's go to C7. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so let's go to C7. And then we will go back again with C5. Okay. I mean C3 because I couldn't find my C5. So, and we will try to blend that a bit. so it's not too harsh. Okay, so there goes our tractor. Let's just pretend that this is an old one. Right? I know tractors are like yellow or was it red or something like that. So this one is on the the darker side of things. Right? Gears. No, these are not gears. These are tires. Right? So these are the tires for our tractor. How many times have I seen an actual tractor in the field? Not much, as you could probably see from my choice of color. Okay, but then again, this has to do as I try to color in this one. Okay. And Jenna is in the house. Hay is never completely dry and has microorganisms on them that can dry it out too much. So what's the color normally, my friends, of hay? Is that the color of hay, or it should be a little bit more like brighter on the yellow? I've never seen hay really in real life, so I'm sorry if the color isn't like as close to what it should actually be. So Wims would always tell me, if you get the colors wrong, that's fine. So make it a whimsical version, right? So if it's not as realistic as it should be, there's always that option that, it's the whimsical version of what it should be, right? So, and I'm embracing that. Okay, and I'm going to embrace that fact. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that one, should it be yellow or should it be red? Okay, so I'm not so sure. Gosh, it's all over the place, but that's fine. Okay. All right, so I'm just going over the, what do you call that? Not muffler. Those are hubcaps. No, not hubcaps. I forgot what you call them. All right, so, and let's do this one, a W9. Okay, the darker one. The darkest one. Okay, am I breathing sometimes? Maybe I'm not. Okay. This, I feel, is way too dark. Anyways. If I remember right, from my son when he was younger, and he likes to play with tractors. I think they were supposed to be yellow and kind of red. Okay. But I think when you're an adult, you think of things in gray or neutrals. So there you go. Okay. Okay, and what would be that share? Probably would be something like this. Right, so the color of that share. Okay, and probably that light on top the yellow. So it's like light. All right. Okay, I am not showing you. I keep forgetting to put it like that, the color of the marker I'm using. So that is our tractor. Okay. And then okay, so let's go to this one. What do you call that? A cart? A pool? Gosh, I forgot what you call it. I see Lynn in the chat. Around here, usually it's a mesh covering. Oh, you cover it in mesh. That makes better, right? So that it will really not like fall apart. Hi, Susan from Jana. Yes, this is another awesome crafter artist in the community. There's only one thing she cannot do, and that is sing, right? Everything else she can. You can ask her about anything crafty or artsy. I kid you not. She really can do that. Excuse me. And we have Debbie J. I know Debbie J has another live stream. Let's make a card series on her channel in a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, right, Debbie? Right, so that's at midnight for me and about 12 Eastern. And of course, Susan is saying hi to everybody. And of course, Lynn, good morning. Wow, Lynn, you're up. Oh no, it's not too early for Lynn anymore. 10, 9, it's 8 a.m., right? So there you go. But she does sleep late, so it's okay to sleep in, Lynn. Thank you so much, my friend, for dropping by. Actually, Lynn, one of your stamps was actually part of the choice for today. And everybody said that tomorrow, definitely your stamp will be one of the choices. Okay, that we are one of the things we will work with, and this is it. This is in honor of our dear friend Lynn, who absolutely loves coffee. Okay, and can make even a mean one. Right, so Carol saying hi to Lynn. Hey, looks great. Thank you. Your hay color looks fine. Straw is... Oh, the straw is the more yellow one. So what's the difference between a straw and hay? Aren't they... It's a different plant? Sorry, friends. I really... Silly question. I'm sorry, right? But I really want to, understand. All right, so your hay, okay, your hay color, okay. How about the tractor? Excuse me, friends. Okay, so Jana said hay can be from light green to light brown and yellow to brown. Oh, okay, so maybe if they're newly pulled out or harvested or picked up, so they're a little on the light green, and as they dry, so it goes from yellow to brown, right? Again, no idea. All right. Oh, Caroline's gonna change device. Are you still in bed, my friend? Okay. Hubcaps. Oh, not hubcaps. Hubcaps. Oh, there you go. Rims. There you go. Rims. Yes, rims. Because hubcaps can actually fly away, right? And cause accident. There you go. John Deere. Oh, the green ones. Yes, they're very famous. John Deere. John Deere. Yes, John Deere. Not Greer, Lala. All right. Mostly what we see around here are the green tractors or the red ones. So here we see something like this. So they're normally like gray and like this. So maybe I think because those John Deere tractors are pretty expensive. But I see the yellow ones though. But the greens and the reds, not so much. Okay, yes. And Vicky saying hi to Lynn. Jana saying hi to Debbie J. Everybody saying hi to everybody who has come in. Going live again at noon today. All right. So if I hopefully finish within that time, okay, I will redirect to you, my friend. All right. So this is Debbie. How have you been into her live stream? It's super fun. Yesterday, Santa said, I have been good. If you want to know what I'm saying, make sure you head on to Debbie J's at noon later. How fun! Yes! There you go. Love that stamp set, Lynn. So there are several in the chat who actually didn't get to also buy that one. So again, the only reason I have it, when I actually found out that Lynn had that set, okay, it was out of stock. But Shanna just had an extra lying around, and that was part of her Christmas gift to me last year. Hay is for feeding livestock, and straw is mostly used for bedding. Oh, see, I'm learning new things. I didn't know that. So hay is for feeding livestock, and straw is used for just beddings. All right, but they come from the same plant, or is it different? All right. So thanks, Lynn, for dropping by. Lynn is very, very busy. So I'm very grateful whenever she has the time to say hi and stop by. All right. So everybody loves Lynn's set. So if you want to see me work with that tomorrow, be sure that you join us for day 18. Okay, Vicky said, hey, it's for free. Okay, I think I read that. Packing up some boo. Ooh, have you checked out that boo episode? Please do check out my crafty adventure. This is our dear friend Caroline. And see, maybe you probably might be one of that who's going to be able to get, okay, the boo meal. I'm not sure though. Okay, we have to check. Hay is harvested for food. Yes, so check, just like Susan said, or Vicky said. And the straw is what is left over after grain. Oh, okay. So straw is what is left over after grain is removed. Oh, so it's actually the grain stalk. So like cereal grains. It's hollow and used for beddings, etc. That is awesome. See, I learn something new all the time. As you know, things that may seem very everyday things to you guys. So for those like me who is on the other side of the globe, okay, actually might not know these kinds of everyday things, right? So it's fun. Green, red, yellow, oranges, red, royal blue are tractors. Royal blue? What brand is royal blue? I would love to have a tractor that's royal blue. That would be super awesome to see. All right, so let's go for this one. I talk too much. Okay, let's go for this one. Otherwise, I'll still be here when Debbie actually starts her live stream. All right, so remember, I still have to put this into a card. Okay, so guys, if you do need to leave for whatever reason, we've been here for a while. I do understand. Thank you so much for dropping by. Please don't forget, okay, though, to hit that like button. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, that you might consider subscribing if you like this kinds of content, right? So we do a lot of crafting, chit chat, talk about food and stuff, right? And I hope that you would also check out the channels of our friends in the chat. Okay, so I like what I say, what I just said. I learn new things all the time. So being at this age does not mean that we stop learning. So again, one thing I like about this community is that there is no boring time, and I get to learn new things all the time and meet new people from all over the world, right? So yes, we have a very global community. That's why Susan, okay, Temper, our moderator, beautiful moderator in the chat, would always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we really don't know, okay, where you are coming from, right? So wherever it is, okay, it is my prayer that you are safe. All right. And so, okay, we move on into finishing my, what do you call this, friends? Cart? Well, no, they're wagon. Right, there you go. Right? This is a wagon where you put this one on top. Right? So let me see if I am right that this is called a wagon. Okay. So hopefully that is indeed a wagon. Okay. That is indeed a wagon. Okay. You know, I go silent whenever there's a part where like, oh no. Okay, I can't make a mistake because it's, if I do, I'm gonna go outside of the lines. All right, so okay, and then those wheels. Okay, let me see. You know, they're metal, so that's why I'm coloring it like that, because in my mind, it's metal. Right? So therefore, it should have like a steel color. But then again, it may not be so. Right? So I'll just say Lala's interpretation of what the wheels of this wagon should look like. All right. All right. I'm scared when I used something like this dark, because you know, if you make a mistake or you go outside the line, it is very, very visible. It's like impossible to hide your mistake. But at this point, I don't care because I am not going to be changing and stamping again just to make it perfect. This will. There are other ways to cover it up, like put a sentiment on top of it or ephemera or whatever it is. All right? And I will just live with that. Right? There you go. One of the wheels done. Okay. And then we're moving on to this one. Gosh, I have only finished one. So I think I'm going to do the other one first, the flowers. Okay, so because that's the ohuhu one. Okay, and if ever it's too late, okay, I will. This is what I'm gonna do because Debbie, okay, is gonna start at noon. So no matter what, whether I finish or not, I will end at noon. Oh my! I did it! I ruined my wheels. Anyways, so no matter what, at noon I will stop, and whatever I don't finish, I will just do tomorrow. Okay, so this one, and then we're gonna do the flowers. Okay, so this is my Copic coloring. All right, so this is our tractor and our wagon, and this is going to be using the Copics, right? And then finally, we're moving on to. Okay, we're moving on to the flowers. Okay, so we are using the ohuhus this time. All right, so how I wish Wims was here so she could guide me through this. And since these are flowers and these are roses, let's choose this pink family. Why? I don't know. I just know that, you know, pinks, they're so alike. How are they different? Okay, so let's just see. Let's see for ourselves. Okay, so what this actually look like. Okay, so these ones are not brush tip. If you can see, they are fine, okay, tip markers. Actually, there are 3 different flowers, I think. Right? So I feel that, okay, that this one's, okay, this one is the rose. Okay, and then the other one looks like poinsettia. Okay, and this one looks like a different flower altogether. So let me see. I'm thinking if I'm going to make it like 3 different flower colors, or if I will just, you know, coordinate. So that's RV210. This is 295. I didn't swatch this, so I don't know what it actually looks like. All right, so I'm just playing with. I don't really know, like, how do you know? But normally, right, intensity. Okay, we'll go through the Copic, like, what do the numbers mean and stuff like that, right? So, okay, so let's go with this for, okay, the rose. I have never seen this kind of color of a rose before, so this is probably another whimsical version. Okay. Unless it was like, you know how it is, they will dip the rose in like color, food color, so that, you know, you have like a black rose. I've seen that. Okay. Some of, you know, the vendors here would do that, especially during like Valentine's Day, right? So if you want to have like those different colored flowers, they dip that into food color. Okay, and then we'll do the darkest pink in the middle. Okay, as normally, you know, this younger buds, okay, those that are yet to bloom somehow are the darkest. Okay, and so we're going to be putting that part in, okay, onto the middle. Okay, and then we're gonna just go back in for some of those, what do you call that, gradations. All right, so now that we have like from the full solid color, now we kind of blend it, go back to it. Okay, and again, these are not brush tip, these are fine nib markers. Okay, and somehow, okay, are kind of doing, okay, just a little bit here and there. Okay, making this flower or rose petal have a little bit of, you know, gradation. Okay. All right. Okay. Like so. So that's our flower. Okay, this one, let's have a little bit. This one. Okay, so let's start with the lightest one. Okay, or should this be purple and red? You know what? Okay, make it purple. This. Okay, and that, is it too far off? This, yeah, this is too far. Okay, so this, and this, and this for the other one. Okay, all right, let's do this one. Okay, and then we will just, you know, again, this is not a fine, this is not a brush, this is not a brush tip, it is alcohol marker, this is ohuhu, but this is a fine tip marker, alcohol marker from ohuhu. And I will show you, just as you know, I learned from Wims that even though they are, you know, fine tip, that you can still blend with this, that it is possible to blend with it. Okay, it is just takes a little bit longer to do so, but definitely very much, you know, doable. Okay, I finished everything. Okay, this one. Okay, and then I would go back with the second color. Okay. All right, so I'm not talking again. Sometimes when I color, I want to concentrate on, how I'm going to do this. Again, I don't have like a brush tip. This is a fine tip Ohuhu marker. Okay. And then I will go back with, again, the lightest one to kind of blend them back together. Okay. Okay. All right. And then finally, the darkest one onto the tips of this flower. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't even know what kind of flower does this have this kind of like color. Okay. I just picked up whatever color I could find in. I don't have a big collection of Ohuhu. I think I bought the 36 pieces. I think that's it. Other than that, I don't have, and they don't have like a variety of like several shades of this and that, right? But I feel that Wims even started with fewer Ohuhu, and she is able to color in and draw and paint and color some of Mira's beautiful sketches. Okay, not even just stamped ones. Those are original artworks that she has used her Ohuhu markers with. And so if you want to check that out, yes, please head on to Wim's channel. Okay, if you want to be or get inspired in terms of what these Ohuhu markers can do. Okay, this part I feel it's too harsh, the transition of colors. I'm sorry about that one. He didn't realize I didn't swatch this. Okay, and I'm used Ohuhu not too much. Okay, so I'm not really familiar with it. But if I had swatched this, I would have found it easier to find color for that. Okay, and then finally we have this one. Okay, so we have vivid pink, wind purple, vivid purple, and deep violet. Let's see what this thing would look like. All right, so let's start with what I feel is the lightest. Again, this has the feel of poinsettia, but not sure. And since I don't think I have Uhuhus that are in the red palette, so this will have to do. I'm so happy that Meg is not in the chat, and I hope that Meg doesn't see this on replay. Because I think I am not doing a very good job at coloring this. I feel, having been out since so early in the morning, tiredness is starting to catch up on me. And you know how it is when you're tired already? It's like you don't have any more patience. It's like, okay, whatever it is I can grab a hold of, that's it. I always say, that's it, pansit. Okay, I think Wims is probably Wims. Okay, wagon, tractors. Okay, John green and yellow is. Oh, these are the brands. Okay, case. IH is red. Oh gosh, I don't know those brands. And Ford is bright royal blue. The only one I'm familiar with is John Deere. My gosh, I have to check those out. And Wims is still here. Okay, breathe. Yes, that's the very first advice Wims told me is to breathe. Hey, Lala, you need to breathe, Mommy Lala. Okay, but how can I breathe when I'm so scared that I'm gonna butcher up what I'm doing because I am not doing it properly? But we said, just go. It's like, when Wims does these things, she's like, okay, she will do it first. Okay, and then she will just lay down all the colors and then she will go back again. It's like the going back again is like what's making me freak out. It's like, what if, when I go back again, it's different, right? So there you go. So let's put the darkest. That should have been yellow, I feel. If this is looking like a poinsettia, that should have been yellow. Okay. All right. So this would have been like that. Again, this is not a brush tip. This is just a fine tip Ohuhu marker that I am trying to, I don't know what kind of blending I am doing at this point. Starting to look like muddy, but that's fine. Flowers in real life aren't really very perfect, right? The organic stuff has a ton of imperfections. Leaves, trees, clouds. Okay, so not to worry. Okay, when you see like imperfections, and I've actually learned to live with it, because you know what will I do if I mess it up already, right? So I can cry, I can say I'll do it again tomorrow, but you don't probably want to see me do this again tomorrow, right? So might as well embrace the fact that this is just all colors and paper. So whatever happens, that's it. That is it. And we will learn to live with that. All right. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. No rhyme or reason. Just trying to cover up all the white spaces or the flowers as much as I can. And now just, going back to this one. Let me see. Okay. I think I forgot to color in this part of the pink flower. All right. And then let's do the leaves. But before we do that, let me just check the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. This is how I do it. Light color first. Oh, okay. Let's hear from the master. Light color first as the base. It's like priming your paper with alcohol medium, and then living white space. Yeah, that's the one I don't do. The living white spaces, right? I forgot that tip. Yes, Wims told me that before. So because there is no white alcohol marker unless you use the clear one, that where you can just pull out the colors. But it's not as nice as, living white space. Yes. Thank you, my friends. You should do a tutorial. I always start with the darkest. Would love. Oh, she has, my friends, on her channel, right? So Caroline, check out Wim's series. She has a whole series. Then you put the darker color on the shadows. So yes, that will be the shadows. Then use a lighter shade to go on top of the dark. to pull and blend to the lighter. Yes. Yes. I think that I know. It's just how do I apply that? Sometimes ain't same. Yes, very well explained and said, Wims. If it doesn't turn out exactly like you want it to, you can splatter. Absolutely, Vicky. Yes. A lot of us are in the same boat, Lala. Just go for it. Hoot, hoot. Yes, exactly. So I don't care, right? So we don't care. Because we are gonna have fun. Okay, so if you are seriously considering like doing really nice coloring, okay, this is not the right channel. But we do have a lot of, in the community, in the crafting community, a lot of awesome crafters who can do that, right? Really, like Kay Warner, in terms of, let's say, kind of, water or coloring with, let's say, watercolor and this kind. So she's very good at it. Okay, you guys mentioned them last night. So I'll knock. Okay, and then again, I forgot. I should. Okay, I will double check tonight. Okay, what is the name of this the channel? And she's actually a teacher. She's been doing Copic coloring teaching for decades. All right, and she does commissioned works for really big brands. And her takes are also super awesome. And of course, within the community, we have, Wims over there in the chat, right? So, all right. So, how's that, Wims? I'm living some, white spaces now. Okay, how is that white space looking? All right. So, not really going for perfect. Look at those sleeves, my friends. I kind of love those sleeves. Right? So we have great mentors in the chat. Thank you, my friends. If not for you guys, I would have just, folded in towel, so to speak, and just said good night. See you tomorrow. Sorry about this. Right? But it's okay because it's really not about perfection for us at this point. We just want to use our stash and be happy with it. Oh, this one is really ugly. Let me see if I can try something with that. It is bothering me, my friends. It is really kind of bothering me. So let's see if I can try and figure this thing out. It's just way too bad. Okay. It's just those kind of lines, straight lines going around is like, oh. I feel that, making them longer like this somehow lessens the harshness, so to speak. I think. I don't know what you call it, actually. It's just, I feel that the transition is so okay. Right, so there you go. I think this one looks better, right? Better, right, friends? Ha! That looks absolutely better. Okay, woo! I love this. Okay, so again, we're done with this one. Okay, where is... Okay, I think I might not have enough time for the chameleon, so let's try to do the chameleon tomorrow, as I really want to turn this into a stamp before the top of the hour, so I can also be in Debbie J's and check out Debbie J's live stream as she makes a card today. Where is... Oh, there's this... I was like looking for the sentiment. It's there. Thanks. All right, so there you go. Yes. Okay, good tip, Vicky. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Just did some writing. Yeah, she's doing her paper. Okay, she's working on her thesis. Okay, there you go, my daughter. Somehow, Sammy, this can be relaxing for you, right? Sammy, how's photography? Oh my goodness, Caroline, the camera that I lent her, which is one of my old Canon buddy, it's not working. So we went to the mall the other day and they said, sorry, this they say is already a motherboard issue. So I said, okay. So I now picked up my very first SLR camera. That's a Nikon. And that's what she's gonna be using. But somehow that's not mirrorless. That's a full frame SLR camera, and good luck to her because it's fully manual. So there you go. Then would you blend with the lighter color? Okay, I know I should, but I'm so lazy. Can I not blend anymore? I knew you guys were gonna say that, right? But I just wanted to like, can I like get away with murder, so to speak, and not do the blending anymore? Right, but you know what? Vicky is right. Is it Vicky? Yes, Vicky. Actually had to go back. There you go. That helps. Thank you. You know what is this? You've been busted. So, yes, busted. All right. Okay. Let's now fussy cut this and start. Okay, as Debbie J would say, create a card. So I'm not sure what Debbie J is going to feature tonight, but probably one of her, a product from one of the companies that she is a team member of. Yesterday, she featured mostly, I think it was Spellbinders, and they had this, new thing, Spellbinders, where they have this music that design team members like Debbie and others can use when they work with Spellbinder products. The very first one in our community, I've known about those kinds of music that you can do with AI for a while, a long time now, because I'm also part of a tech community, and they have been using that for like over 2 years. But the very first one I've seen that applied really was Not Too Shabby and Lynn's channel. So it's like, it is super fun, right? So if you want to check that out, you can actually do that as well for your channel, right? It is fun, you can choose what kind of genre or tempo you want to use for your music. Okay, it can be as fast as a few seconds to 3 to 5 minutes, so depending on the prompts that you give it, right? So that's why doing content nowadays, it's not as hard as people think so, because we do have a lot of tools that we can use now, okay, that weren't even, probably was already available in the past, but was very expensive, and normally only those who have big budget companies would be able to use. Okay, did I not do? But then what would go into my tractor, right? So I think I should have at least one of the critters. Okay, let me see. Let me put it together first and see how it would look like, if it's gonna be okay without a critter, or should I at least put in the cow somehow? But I'm not sure if it would fit this one. Let's see, my friends. Okay. Alright, so this is fussy cutting time. I know it's a mix in our community when it comes to fussy cutting. Some of us absolutely will not fussy cut. We'll do anything and everything, okay, not to fussy cut. Okay, and there are those who, like me, just feel, loves fussy cutting so much because it's very relaxing. You know why it is relaxing? Because you really somehow need to focus, and you need to shut out all the other like voices in your head or whatever it is, so you can concentrate. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the spot somehow and come up with, a not so detailed fuzzy cut. Especially if you're fuzzy cutting like the way I'm doing it right now, very, very, very near the line. Okay. So sometimes I do have like a bit of a border when I fuzzy cut, but otherwise I normally like fuzzy cutting this way, as close to the edge of the image as possible. I just find that it looks more realistic, cleaner in terms of, trying to match it to whatever background or paper that you have. It is easier if you fussy cut it without the white background. Again, that's just me. That's not a universal truth or law. It's not a scientific truth, my friend. Just something that I prefer. Okay, so which simply means nothing at all because you don't need to follow me. Okay. All right. So there you go. So this is this part of the tractor. Ta-da! And then you see that part where there is white. I normally would cut that out as well. Sometimes I would use my, what do you call that? I would use my, what is that word? Pen blade, okay, to just remove the white inside, but that's harder for me. So I just snip off one of the edges and then just try to hide, okay, in the end that I actually snipped up one of the sides. So then I will just, so that when you put this one onto your background, it really feels like it's really part of the background because you can see through the inside, not just on the outside, but even through the inside. Again, if that's the kind of look that you want, then you could do what I'm doing right now. Okay, but it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to. Okay. There we go. Okay, this is kind of scary because if I one mistake and my what do you call this? That's the gear shift, gear shift, whatever it is. I don't know what you call it. Okay, in the tractor. That's it. Okay, so there goes our tractor. There goes our wagon, and now we're just left with the hay. Okay. And let's see how we are going to do this. Oh, thank you, sweet pie. Thank you, baby. Right, so I was telling my kids, my kids are not young anymore, but I still call them baby. So you know what? You don't have a choice because you guys are always going to be my baby. Right, Caroline? No matter how Matthew's age is going to be, he will always be your baby. Right? And so are my kids. I love it that, even that they're grown up, I can still we call that in Filipino make lambing. I don't know how you say it. Wims, can you help me out? What's make lambing in English? Try to, what do you call that? Gosh, my brain. Kind of being cheesy with them and stuff like that, right? So let me see if I do want to remove those white stuff. Maybe what I can do to hide that without actually removing the white anymore, because I'm pressed for time, is I'm gonna color in that part with something that looks like the color of hay, so that it feels like there is hay inside instead of it just being white like so. But having those white are intentional, as Wim said, create a little bit of a what do you call that? Okay, and maybe put something like that so it's kind of like Or maybe like that, right? So, okay. So I'm already trying to think how I'm gonna put that in a card. Okay, but first I need to. Where's my? Okay, yeah. This is okay. Right. So sorry, guys. So the thing is, when I go live like this and no preparation, it does, make it longer than usual. So that's why I understand if you need to go, right? So it's okay, absolutely, right? So that would have to be for that card. Now let's fuzzy cut my flower card. Okay, so let's just start with my sentiment, okay, which is a very simple thanks. Okay, on to this one. Okay, if my dear friend Christine Kwong is watching, okay, on replay or right now, okay, thank you so much. You know why, friend? Thank you. All right. Okay, now we just fuzzy cut. Okay, so I normally start out by cutting, the big areas, okay, around it, so I don't have to deal with, a lot of the background. So it's easier for me to fuzzy cut when, this kind of big stuff is away from it. Okay, so and the thanks would go here. So I will just fuzzy cut this. Okay, so for this one, I will put a little bit of a tiny white border, because you see the lines around this stamp are quite very, very thin, very intricate border. So I feel that having a little bit of a white border better with this one, rather than having it really to almost to the side or to the edge of the border of the image. Okay, so that's one thing that I also like follow through when the outline is very intricate like this, very tiny, right? So I try not to fussy cut as near to the edge. Okay, but I really don't like borders that are very, very big. It's just so starkingly like different. So if you want to keep that very coordinated look, I just feel that it's harder. Okay, but then if you are so pressed for time, go ahead. Just again, it's just a personal preference that I have. Okay? It is not a scientific truth by no way. Okay, so okay, but if you want to try out that for size on your next project, and then tell us or share with us what you think of that. Oh, by the way, I tried going into the Discord this morning, and Sammy and I found a way for me to be able to actually get in there. But the thing is, I wanted to make another channel for Stash-tember, but since I am, I got in as a guest using another email, I am not yet the admin or moderator, so I cannot add any. Okay, but starting tomorrow, I'll start using that, so that if you like whims, okay, would want to share your Stash-tember, just put it in our usual, okay, Team Bahay channel, okay, on Discord. Okay, if I will start putting in the links to our Discord, okay, via Sam, and I will try to share it as well with our dear moderator friend Susan. But again, Susan, as I always say, you don't need to be here all the time, especially if you're not feeling well, if you have stuff to do for your own channel, right? So you are always the priority. Okay, my friends, I'm just grateful for you guys being here. And really, Susan has been like, every time I'm stumped, she would like, the voice that I want. Okay, she's like my conscience, my crafty conscience, right? So that would tell me, okay, do this. This is perfect. This is better. I say, okay. Or sometimes I would miss out. And what's that word? What's that word? Right? And then she will be in the chat telling me, okay, all right, that's the word. Right? So it's like, you know what that song is? It's like we finish each other's sentences. You know that song from what's that? Frozen? I can't sing though, because we'll get we call this. We will probably get a strike, or not. I don't think it's gonna be a strike because I'm not a good singer, but it's gonna be a claim. All right, so I do have those white spots over there that I feel, but you know what I'm gonna do with that? That is where my sentiment is going. So it's gonna look something like that, right? So I just need to. So the imperfections that I see can always be covered up in a way, right? So I just need to make this a little bit skinnier, okay, as I don't want it to be that thick. All right, so okay, let me see, because I want it to go like that onto our flower later on, because there's those two white spots over there, and I don't want to color, or I don't want. Okay, so it's gonna go. Yay! We're done with the coloring and the fuzzy cutting. All right, so now it's time to put it into a card. All right, so let me see. Okay, just going conference, going through some of the stuff I have here. Look at that. How perfect is that? Right, so these are I just sprayed this with, I think I did I spray or smush this? Okay, I think I smushed this with what's the word? With magicals. Okay, so I think I smushed that with magicals. Okay, so probably I'm not going to be able to use the wagon unless I do it this way, which I could actually use. What am I doing? What am I putting it over there, right? So probably we're going to use that. It's like, the hay is being pulled by this tractor, like so. Okay. I do want to ground it though, because it doesn't feel grounded enough. So let me put the roll with it. Let's okay, I just need to find a way to ground, okay, the base of that one. All right, so it's nice, right, to see in the end, like, how will you actually do this, right? To see how in the end it ends up looking like, right? So it's too white, so we're gonna ink the sides of that a little bit. All right, and probably instead of doing a fishtail, I'm gonna put like doing things like rods over there. So it's gonna look like that is being pulled by this, and the hay is gonna be looking like that, right? So how's that? How's that look? Okay, we're just gonna put it really down below like so, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a mat onto that, so that, okay, that would be the grounding that I feel this card needs. Okay, so 5.5 by 4.25, and let's make this a 5.25 by 4. All right, so now it's gonna look like that. Let's grab a card base. Then it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna put the hay like so. You'll still gonna see slits of that wagon. And then we're gonna put it like this. We're gonna lift this a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna put our sentiment. Roll with it. Yes, that is it. One down, my friends. What do you think? What do you think? I am really loving our series, right? So I'm starting to feel that this part of the show is always the one I look forward to as well. Because just like you, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing in the end, right? So you are as surprised and relieved as I am. I'm just trying to get some distressed ink. Okay, so I'm just gonna, ink the edge a little bit. It's just way, way too white. Okay, so there you go. Okay, and I'm gonna lift that up a little bit. Okay, first, let's put this together first. So I did use a watercolor paper for this. I did this in the past in one of our episodes. I don't even remember when. It has been a long while. But I did smush this using magicals. That's why it's a little bit, you see, there's a sparkle. One, where's the opening? All right, so we're going to put the wagon again over there and then this over here. So it does feel a little bit grounded as there is a matte black matting over there, so it's like that's the ground, right? So I'm so grateful to you guys for choosing this, okay, and making me do this by choosing this for me to make. I think I ran out of the big ones. All I have are the smaller like this. I just like the bigger ones because it's faster to, make this complete. So I want to have that. Okay, lifted a little bit. Now what I need to master now, I think, is just working faster, a little bit faster, so I don't end up spending too much of your time putting together my cards, okay, for my Stash-tember. Okay, so this one we're going to try and put them onto the sides over there. Okay, where is my scissors? Okay, it's a good thing I have, okay, there, found it. Okay, and then okay, and then we're just gonna put this. It's still a little wet, and then because I inked the edges, right? So I have a little boo-boo, okay, on the sentiment, but that's fine. It says roll with it, and that is what we are going to do. We are gonna roll with it, and then this is, okay, we're gonna roll with this one. All right, that one, and to make sure that it doesn't show, okay, we're gonna make that thing also, and lift over there, and then on this side, okay, put that one over there, and this over there, okay, and this one over here, this one over there. All right, and then it's gonna look like something like that. So you see what opening that hole did, right? So it looked more realistic, as you can see the background. So oftentimes I would do that. I would remove the inner white area of, my stamped images. Not all the time, but most of the time, that's what I do. You don't need to do with that, but you might want to try it out every now and then and see if you like it as well. See, it's something that somehow I love doing. All right, so let us put this together. Okay, no. Stay there. Don't stick to my hands. All right, so there you go. We want it to go as near as the edge as possible. Roll with it. We don't have a driver though, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, what we can put in here. All right, so probably just 2 and 3. Okay, of those gold. Okay. Same sizes. I need the same size, my friend. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's try this over there. The stickiness of this one is almost gone. Okay, and finally this one. Okay, there's 2 of them, so I only need 1. So separate, you guys, separate. Okay, and then there you go. Okay, and so we remove the others. Roll with it. Shannon! That's card number 1 done. All right, so let me just go back to the chat a little bit. Okay. Okay, I did that. Don't spend a lot on the camera. Invest in the lenses. Yes, right? So I do have a lot of lenses. That's why I told Sam it's okay. That's just the body. The lenses are more expensive, right? So you I don't have a brother's gun and cut, my friends. Right? So that's why I don't have a choice. I have to do that. Okay. Here, look at this. I did this background. This is a stencil background several months ago, I think. I don't know. But look. It's very masculine kind of thing, right? But because this is a flower, right? So I'll show you how we can actually, make it have... Oh, where's my thanks? Where's my thanks? All right, that we can actually put that in. Okay. So, I have this like collection of things that I do, like when I do several of them at a time. And so that when, I have episodes like this where I need a background, I need something really fast. There you go. I found my thanks. And then I will cover up the boo-boo I have over there. Right? So now we'll just put this together. Just put a little bit of, adhesive here and there. And we are done. Okay, now we'll just put my thanks over there. Okay. And bling it. Okay, so blingify is always the last step. Only if you want to. Okay, only if you want to. So for this one, I think I want to use like a faux gems. Like faux, what do you call those expensive ones? Expensive, not Murano, the other one, the one that does this kind. Swarovski. Yes, but they're not Swarovski. They're fake. They're kind of look alike, right? But they're not really Swarovski crystals, but they do look like crystals. So I just need to look for a specific kind. Let me just see which one I like. Okay, they may even be like, yes, there's purple over there. Okay, there's the red over there. Can go somewhere near here, right? So we can mix and match. And then only if, oh, I wish it would stop sticking. Okay, let me have a big tool over here. Another one. Probably over there. Okay, let me see. Okay. Ding. Okay, and then some reds. Let me see. Where are my reds? Remember the story behind this faux gems? You could actually buy this pretty cheap if you buy it like segregated in different colors. But then I saw that if you buy them in like this, where it's not segregated according to color, it's cheaper. But in the end, oh my goodness, friends, don't do that. Save yourself a lot of time and headache. Okay, by actually buying the one that has different kinds of color and not segregated. It's going to be so much pain. All right, so there you go. All right, so probably a little bit of, because that's even. To break. Okay, to break the evenness of that one. No, I think I'm okay. I'm okay. Sometimes they say odd, but this one, okay. I feel the composition somehow. Okay, it's okay. All right, so I just need to put a little bit of that over there. Okay, I need a new jewel picker. I think this is the last one I have, and it's okay. The other side has already given up. No more sticky parts. I use it so often that I think it has given up on me. Okay. Alright. And then let's go for the purples. Okay, that's some purple of this flower. Again, if you're, if you want perfection, this definitely is not going to be okay. All right, so this is a top folding one. All right, so let us check. But first, okay, I will remember to do this. Okay. I need to stamp my handmade by me. Handmade by me. Onto, oh, this one already has. Okay, because I already have prepared this one. So I have several kinds of, handmade by me. This one is a little bit intricate. Okay, so that one is one of my favorites. Very simple. All right, this one is, it's kind of the design. Come on. This one to show. Anyway, something like that. All right, so there you go. These are my 2 cards for today. I wanted to be 3, but I think I don't have enough time. And it's 12:09. Okay, so let me just go back to the chat. Okay, and first let me go back to YouTube. Okay, so I will show you again. All right, so what this one? Okay, so content. Let's go to the live stream. All right, and then go to this one, customization, and then redirect to Debbie J. Okay, there we go. And save. All right. So let me just go back to this. So thank you so much. Okay. Wim said I will just ink day 17 and color tomorrow while I'm in meetings. Great job. Just make sure you don't lift your hands like that and see that. Let me see that. What is with your hands? Just kidding aside. Thank you, Wims. No need. Just asking. Oh, what was that? Oh, it's okay. Thank you so much for remembering. And I love that about you guys because I often forget. You're there. There you go. I agree. Lala is a fussy cutting master. When you don't have it, you have no choice. Yes, Caroline, I am actually hoping that it was today that I will have the good news. I'm still waiting. Definitely within this week. So don't worry, you will be the first to know, Caroline, as you know that. Right? I can't stand fuzzy cutting. Yeah, so team no fuzzy cutting. Right? So Caroline, I think Lynn is halfway through. Sometimes okay, sometimes not. Right? Okay. Okay, Carol is also no fussy cutting. Team no fussy cutting. Okay, so Vicky, because of that one, may not be for fussy cutting. I call him my baby boy and he's 20. Exactly, right? So they will always be our baby boy till they're like, till the Lord takes them away from us and then they go back to heaven. Lambing. Lambing is sweet talk. There you go. So when I'm with my babies, I say, baby. And it's like, they're like, you would think, oh, you're a baby. No, this is a big boy and a big girl. Right? So I'm using the stamps from Couture Creations when we had the Paper Stamp Festival of Kara Crafts back in 2023. Yes. So Kara Crafts is one of our what do you call this partner stores here in the show, and prior to, I think they stopped 2024, 2022, 2021, 22, 23. I think we did have Paper Stock Festival. Awesome that you're able to use it now, Wims. And Vicky, see, 47, and your oldest son turned 50, and they still call them baby, right? Yes, Wims, because starting tomorrow, I will now be able to pull in, finally I got into my Discord server. Oh, Susan is actually doing, as long as Susan, it's not something that, is gonna be something that you are obliged to do so, right? So VJ, do you have grandchildren? All right. Susan rocks. Absolutely. Thanks, friends. Oh, Lynn is still here. All right. And Caroline said, I have to get my video edited and posted today. Yes. Looking forward to that, Caroline. You are so blessed. Absolutely. I have 13 grand, 5 kids, and 7 grades. Hats off to you, my friend. I think, that is such a blessing. I would love to have just even one grandchild in the future. Okay. Really pretty. Thank you so much, my friends. I love how that came together, right? So, I even also didn't know how it's going to come out together in the end. As you know, coloring is not one of my strengths, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it, right? So I'm going to get better if I don't do it. So there are times it really but there are times like this one, but yay, it's somehow okay. Oh, they're everywhere, spread out. I don't get to see them very much. Aww. I think that's going to happen to me because my kids are, we taught them to be global learners. So I'm pretty sure they'll be going, I don't know where, especially with Sam. She wants to travel the world. So it's okay. I'll just be happy in my craft room. Right. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, gosh. I love it, guys. Thank you, Laurie. And I know, Laurie, that you are also very busy preparing for weddings. Not just one, but 2, right? Thank you, Vicky. My gosh, you guys have been here since the beginning, and I'm so blessed. Thank you, my friends. absolutely. I know you guys are busy. Time is very important for everybody. Susan, I posted an unboxing of the VIP bundle. Oh my goodness, guys. Please do check that out. All right. So Lynn is LV handcrafted, my friends. Right? And she has an awesome community where I'm actually a proud member of. Okay, that's the Crafty Fun Friends with LV Handcrafted on Facebook. Just make sure that when you join, please do answer the questions. Otherwise, we cannot accept your request. There you go. Remember, Lynn has an amazing, stash of things coming up for her. So proud of you, my friend. Mwah, mwah. Okay, Caroline, I only have one child right now. Yeah, Wims is very young, my friends. She is. Okay. So, whether she likes it or not, I'll stick her. Yes, absolutely. Okay, have to go into lurking mode. Lunch just arrived. Woo! We would love to know. Have a great lunch. Oh gosh. Okay, but of course, Lynn always has coffee. But Lynn, you need to eat. Okay? All right. So guys, the best way to not miss any of our friends' live streams or videos is to make sure that you hit that notification bell, which I am missing right now. I don't know where it is. Right. So thank you so much again, my friends. Maybe it's a Tesla truck. There's an AI driver. Why not? I actually saw the other day they are coming up with like a tiny home by Elon Musk, right? So it's a Tesla mini tiny house that can actually create 3 rooms, 2 toilet. It's amazing, and with a fraction of a cost of an actual tiny home. Right? So watch out for that. Maybe it's really not going to be too far off what Lynn said, right? Right, there you go, right? So I was planning to do the critter as one of the drivers, right? So, well jobbed. Oh yes, gosh, Irene, if you have not checked out her channel. Gosh, Vicky, what is Irene Smith's anyway, if you just put on YouTube Irene Smith, okay, you will find her. She has this awesome. It's like a 15-minute card. You have to create that card based on like a peg or something in 15 minutes, and it's super awesome. She does it with crafty friends as well. All right, love that. Very cute. Thank you so much. Well done. I'm so grateful, of course, you guys being there, telling me what to do. Okay, what stamp to use at this point, even what alcohol marker to use is super awesome. Again, thank you for telling me that I was on mute earlier on. And yes, please don't forget to like this live stream and share, because sharing is caring. And again, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel and you like things so far, maybe you would consider subscribing. All right, so with that, thank you so much again, my dear friends. Cards and Chaos, there you go. Thank you so much again, my dear friends. And yes, once this live ends, if you would consider just saying hi over onto Debbie's live stream. Bye, friends. See you tomorrow for day number 18. It's actually day 18 already. Bye.